Hello, everybody. My name is Steve Guzman. I'm a senior director with Stream, and I'm going to teach you quickly how to read an energy bill. All right, these bills are specific to the Philadelphia area. I am in the Philadelphia area. This is a PICO bill. I'll also be showing you a PP&L bill because each bill is a little bit different, but the same principles apply. If you're not in the PICO or PP&L area, or if you get a bill outside of these areas, just check to make sure that everything's still the same. Once you learn how to read the bills in your area, you'll be fine because they'll be the same every month for everybody in that area. So you just need to learn it once. This is going to be I'm going to go over the basic principles here. So they should still apply to your area. So what happens, you need to understand deregulation a little bit first. So when the Public Utility Commission enacted deregulation, what they did was they split your bill into two sections. Okay, you have a delivery, and a supply section. Your delivery company will always be your utility company. Okay, the Public Utility Commission said you own all the poles, the meters, the wires, the gas lines. You can make your money off delivering that energy to the customers, PICO. But the customers are going to choose who they can buy their energy from, or at least they have the option to choose who they buy their energy from. That's going to be your supply. Okay, so Stream is a supplier along with, probably 100 others. There are a lot of other suppliers out there. What happened was deregulation was it opened up the market to free enterprise. So a lot of other competitors jumped in, and just like Rob Snyder saw the opportunity with this and decided to use relationship marketing, a lot of other companies do it in the traditional marketing manner, which would be TV ads, radio ads. I'm sure you've heard of NRG. I think they own a stadium down in Texas. I mean, traditional marketing. We chose a different route. So either way, that was a little off track. Either way, we are a supplier. And what you want to do when you get somebody's bill, the first thing you want to look for is who is their supplier. You already know who the delivery company is. That's already going to be their utility company. That does not get affected by who the supplier is. So we only deal with the supply charges. So first thing you want to look for is who's the supplier. PICO tells you right on the front page. PP&L actually tells you right on the front page too. I'll just quickly show you. PP&L actually shows you right on the first page, current supplier, boom. So what they're doing is they're helping you as a customer realize who your supplier is. If the supplier is the utility company, they make it simple for you. On a PICO bill, it's page 2. They have what's called a price to compare. Now, your price to compare is exactly what they are charging you. So if you're going out shopping for energy, you want to see how much you're getting charged so that you can see if you're saving money or not. You just look at the price to compare and compare. Let's say right now Stream has a rate of 6.99 in the PICO area. So the customer is currently getting charged 7.16 because they have PICO as their supplier. And if they switched with Stream, they would pay 6.99. They would save money. Very quick way of just telling if you're able to save money or not. So you see you have the electric and the gas here. We currently do PICO gas. Not every not every utility company in Pennsylvania, we can switch their gas, but PICO we can. So I'm showing you a dual commodity bill here. So if you wanted to get crazy, you could take these two charges, these supply charges right here. If I can zoom in, take these, add these two up, it will come out to 7.16. I'm not going to do the math because I know it will. Same with gas. You just take the supply charges. In this case, it's actually a negative number. Gas is a little bit different. It has an adjustment charge. So if it's negative, you would subtract, which you would do in this case, and it comes out to about 32 cents, which you see right here is the price to compare. So if you wanted to get crazy and do the math, you could do it, but they try to make it simple for you. Okay, so again, we're only dealing with the supply charges. All these other charges down here, they won't get affected by the supply. Now, what if somebody switched? What's that going to look like? Let me show you. So that's not quite the one I was looking for. Let me show you this one. So this is my bill. So you see here, PICO, zoom in. You see here, PICO is the delivery company and Stream is the supplier. Okay, so if I were to get this bill, first thing I would look for, who's the supplier? Okay, it's Stream. Well, I know I can't use the price to compare because that's only what the utility company is charging me. I'm not with PICO, I'm with Stream. So now I need to look at the supply charges. So you see here at this time, now this is an old bill, But at this time, Pico's price to compare was 7.13, and I was getting charged 6.88 with Stream. Okay, so if they're not with the utility company, so you see here, this number means nothing if they are not with the utility company as their supplier. If they are with a third-party supplier, they will always be a bundled rate. So if you remember, Pico had a generation and transmission charge listed separately. If you add them up, you get the price. With a third-party supplier, they already bundle those charges and put it into one price right here. Now, something to look out for, other suppliers might add a customer charge at the bottom. I've seen suppliers that are boasting this great rate here, and then they have a $15 customer charge below it that adds a lot more to it. And when you do the math, you can take the total supply charge, which would be, in this case, 3667, divide it by the kilowatt hours, and you'll get the actual rate, their actual supply rate, which could be much higher. So important to look out for hidden fees like that from other companies. All right, so that's how you look at a Pico bill. Now to PP&L, again, you're going to see here the current supplier. In PP&L, the price to compare is right below it. So PP&L was charging, in this case, 9.59 cents. They were with supplier A, B, and C, though. So we can't look at the price to compare. We have to look at the supply charges. So on Pico, that's on page 2. On PP&L, you will see page 2 is the actual distribution charges. That's not the supplier. Page 3 are going to be your supplier billing details. Okay. So again, we're looking for supplier charges. The supplier charges, the supply charges, that's what we deal with. So don't get caught up in the distribution or delivery or any of that stuff. That has nothing to do with us. So you see in this case, supplier ABC, and they, again, bundled the charges, right? So March 18th to 23rd, they were with supplier A, B, and C, and they were getting charged 12.9 cents. But if you look down here, they have 2 suppliers on here. It looks like on March 23rd, they actually switched to supplier 2 at 8.5 cents. So you can tell that they realized that they were getting hosed. They weren't getting a very good rate. They switched their supplier, and it looked like they went active here. So this bill, this is a little bit tricky to read, but it's a great sample bill because it shows you what would happen if you were to switch in the middle of a billing cycle. So you can see here they went from 12.9 cents to 8.5. But what's important to note is that this price to compare 9.5559 it's null and void. It doesn't matter because they are with a third-party supplier. They're not with the utility company. So in summary, guys, real quick, I want to keep this short. The first thing you want to look for, who's their supplier? If it's Pico or the utility company, you just look for the price to compare. If it's not Pico or the utility company, which in this case it's not, you actually have to, this is my bill, you actually have to look at the supply charges listed right here. So let me show you the gas part, or the third page of that bill, and you see here that with gas, it's the same thing. Stream energy, gas supply, stream energy, energy charge, 28 cents. Okay. CCF is just it's almost like kilowatt hours. It's how they measure how much you used. It's your usage. It actually means 100 cubic feet. So, so that's what you want to look for, guys. You want to see who the supplier is. If they're with the utility company, use the price to compare. If they're not with the utility company, you want to check the actual supply charges. Now, if they're with a third-party supplier and they have a decent rate, they're probably still in a contract. They need to call that specific supplier and find out if they have an early termination fee to switch. Because what happens is you could enter them as a customer, they could switch, and then they could get hit with an early termination fee for breaking that contract. All right, some suppliers do not have early termination fees. So even if they're in a contract, they can switch for free, and that's fine. Now, if they have a third-party supplier, they're in a contract, and they have an early termination fee, just find out when that contract ends and follow up with that person after it ends. Maybe you can get the right to earn their business then. You don't want your customers getting hit with a $150 early termination fee. So that's how you read a bill, guys. Very simple. I hope it made sense to you all. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your local leaders and ask them for help.